Hey guys, this is Shannon with Nearly Organic Noshing, and today's video is going to be just a little bit different than what I normally do. I just got in the door from work a few minutes ago, and I am starting on dinner. And if you've been watching any of my haul videos, you know that I have started doing Weight Watchers, which I did not think I would like, but I really do because it's not special foods per se. I'm not having to shop for special things. I have tried other plans in the past, and some of them really worked, but I feel like I'm pigeonholed into what I can eat, and then when you tell me I can't have something, then it just makes me want it more. So this plan has been working so far. I've only been doing it a few weeks, but it has had positive results. So when I was meal planning today, which I try and do every week, I sit down and do a meal plan, and I'll show you my meal plan in just a minute. I was thinking, I don't cook special Weight Watchers meals. I just cook for the family, and then I decide on my portions and how much of what I'm going to eat and what is worth the points. So I may make pasta for the family, but I may not eat the pasta. I may just eat something else along with it, or I'll have a minuscule amount. So what I decided to do is take my meal plan for the week, what I have already chosen for the week to do, just regular meals for my family, and I'm going to give it the points. I'm going to lay it all out and show you what I'm using and show you the point breakdown at the end of the meal, what it all ends up entailing. So I am not a member of Weight Watchers. I'm using the iTrack Bites app, which I heard of over on Tangie's channel, over at Freedom Homestead. So I've just been using that app. So all of these points are based on that app, the iTrack Bites app. So I'm going to flip the camera around and show you what we're dealing with. Okay guys, this is my meal plan for the week. Now, things are subject to change. Sometimes something happens and I forget to take meat out, or we just get busy, or something comes up and I have to switch it up, and that just happens. That's life. So this is what I have on the schedule right now. Now, none of these are specialty meals. These are things I just make for the family. And one of the things I'll do is, we don't do rice that often, but if I'm going to make rice, I'll make a large pot of rice and then choose multiple meals in 1 week for rice or potatoes or something like that, just to save me a step. I work full time, so I'm always looking at how to save a step here and there. So tonight's menu item is jerk pork with baked apples and a salad. So I went ahead and pulled all my ingredients out, and I'll show you what I'm dealing with here. So the meat that I'm using are these pork shoulder blade steaks that are boneless. Now I will be trimming off all of the thick parts of the fat to make these as lean as possible. That is the one concession I'm making towards the meat. I don't think that we need big chunks of fat on our food. So I will be trimming those off. I do not have a food scale, so when I looked up online, how do you choose about 3 ounces, a 3-ounce serving of meat? It should be the palm of your hand. That's about a 3-ounce serving. So once you cut this down and you take off the fat, I think each of these will be around 3 to 4 ounces by the time you trim them down of actual meat, because I'm going to be cutting these up into cubes. So all of the fat is going to be gone. It's just going to be pure meat. So 1 3-ounce serving of pork is 2 points. I'm going to be cooking this with olive oil. So 1 teaspoon of olive oil is 1 point. And this is something you're kind of have to guesstimate. I'm going to count that I will have 1 teaspoon of olive oil. I'll put more than that in the pan to cook everybody's food, but I'm going to figure that I'm going to eat about a teaspoon of the oil. To that, I will be adding onions. These are just peppers from my garden that I harvested last summer. I've had in the freezer. I just reached in and grabbed a handful of them and brought them out. They're still pretty frozen, but they'll chop up just fine. This is some jerk seasoning, which is 0 points. So this is 0, 0, 0. Garlic is 0. And then I have some brown sugar, because you just sometimes have to put a little bit of sweet in there to cut the heat. So I'm going to figure out that I'm going to have 1 teaspoon of brown sugar. So 1 teaspoon is 1 point. Going over to the baked apples.
The apples are 0. I'm using Swerve as my sugars. I try and use either monk's fruit, stevia, Swerve, something like that whenever possible. And I've been cooking like that for a while just to cut out pure sugar from our diet. So this is not a substitution. This is how I cook all the time. So both of these Swerves, I'm going to cook the apples with the granules and I'm going to top them just to make them kind of pretty with a little sweet on top with some of the Swerve confection. Both of those are 0. All of my seasonings are 0. And my butter, 1 teaspoon of butter is 2 points. This is just real sweet cream butter. I almost missed this. I'm going to serve the jerk pork over rice and 1/2 cup of, this is just plain white rice, nothing special, not brown or wild or anything like that. 1/2 cup of plain white rice is 3 points. All of my veggies here are 0 points. And then the salad dressing that I'm going to put on my salad, the guys are going to have something different, but for my salad is this Skinny Girl balsamic vinaigrette, which Chris might like this, but Jaden hates every vinaigrette, so he'll put something else on his. Again, this is not a substitution. This is just what we would have with dinner. But the kids don't always like the same thing as the adults, so I let them put whatever dressing they want on theirs. So I'm just going to go ahead and get this cooked up, and then when I plate my meal, I'll show you how many points I have for this one meal. I just thought it would be kind of cool to see what people have for a week that are not cooking special for Weight Watchers. This is just my regular family meal plan, and we'll see how it works out points-wise on this diet.
Okay guys, I already have the rice cooking on the stove, and if you see a couple extra pots over there, I'm prepping some stuff for the rest of the week. It just makes my life easier that if I'm going to be making a mess in the kitchen anyway, I get a couple of other things prepped. So I have eggs that are kind of boiling / steaming on the stove, and I have tea going, so I'll have a pitcher of tea, and I made extra rice because we'll have that in other meals this week. I've already cut up the apples here, and I have them all seasoned up with some butter on top, and these guys are getting ready to go into the oven at 350 to bake until soft.
Okay guys, I have the salad cut up. I'm going to go ahead and start on the onions and peppers now. Rice is cooking and the apples are baking. So we're just kind of trucking along here, and I'll show you what it looks like once I get all the peppers and onions cut up. Now I can tell you more points are going to end up going into the salad because I forgot to bring out some of the things that we add in. Chris loves it when I really jazz a salad up, so I'll show you what we add into that. Okay guys, I have my onions and peppers here, garlic I'm getting ready to cut up. I get these pretty much caramelized and cooked down before I add the garlic and before I add any seasoning. And once this is cooked, then I'll add in my meat. Okay guys, this is the meat after I've cut it down. That is everything I took off. There's still a little bit of fat, but I'm not too worried about it. And all of the vegetables are nicely browned. I have not put in the garlic yet. I'll do that in a minute, but I'm going to go ahead and throw the meat in and get it all seasoned up. Okay guys, these are the things that I will be adding into the salad. Parmesan cheese, 1 tablespoon is 1 point. Pecans, 1 tablespoon is 2 points. And then some cranberries, 1 tablespoon is 1 point. I think it's totally worth it for the points because it just makes your salad taste awesome. Chris loves when we jazz them up like this. I love it. The kids love it. So this is what we're going to do to our salads. Okay guys, here is dinner all plated up. This is a total of 14 points. Now, I feel like I was very, very liberal with the points. I have a feeling this is probably more like an 11 or 12 point dinner. But if I think it was remotely possible that I had, say, more butter or a little more oil than what I thought, then I just jumped it up to the next serving size. So I went ahead and calculated it at 14, but I think it's probably more like an 11 or 12. It's just kind of hard to calculate how much butter you got on these apples when you scooped them out of the pan, or how much olive oil is really on your meat. So that is it. I'm going to go ahead and dish this up. This is tea made with stevia. So this is our dinner for night 1.
Hey guys, it is Tuesday and it's about 7:15. I just came in from work a few minutes ago and I'm starting on dinner. I will flip the camera around and show you what we're having.
Okay, tonight I am doing a chicken broccoli stir fry. So I have the chicken I took out at lunch today to defrost, and when I used the app, it says that 4 ounces of boneless, skinless chicken breast are 1 point. I know that in some of the Weight Watcher apps, I'm not sure, I think it's Freestyle or something, that chicken breast is 0. I'm not really sure. If my app says it has points, then I'm counting it as points. That's just the way that I am doing it for me. I'd rather have too many points than be underscoring myself and eating too much. So if it says it has points, I am counting it as points. So 4 ounces of chicken is 1 point. Now, this marinade we got from Costco, and I looked at the ingredients, and when I scanned it, it's not showing up in the app. So I looked at the ingredients on the list and then just looked at other sauces online that were very similar to it. And I chose a Great Value one because that is something common that a lot of people can get, just the Walmart brand. And according to that, 2 tablespoons of the sauce is 4 bites. Now, it depends on how much of the sauce you want to eat, will depend on how many bites or how many points you're going to charge. I'm just counting it as the 4 for myself. I don't think I'm going to have 2 tablespoons of it, but I'm counting the 4. Next is the Great Value broccoli stir fry. It has broccoli, carrots, cauliflower, sugar snap peas, white corn, mushrooms, water chestnuts, and red peppers. Now, I am also going to cut up an onion, just a regular onion, and add to this. And it says 3/4 cup of this is 1 point. I'm thinking it's the corn maybe and the water chestnuts, the carbs from that are giving it points because everything is essentially vegetables in there. So 3/4 cup, 1 point. Now I have my rice here from last night. Remember I said that whenever I cook something like rice or pasta, I'll usually do a big container of it so that I can use it multiple nights. And 1/2 cup is 3 points. And then I'm going to make Waldorf salad, and I will link the video up here in the corner on how to make it. I just went and picked some celery from my scrap garden that I have out front, and I will link that in here also if you're interested in seeing what that's all about. So here is my celery, 0 points. Grapes, normally I would use raisins or cranberries, but tonight I decided I'm going to go ahead and just cut up some fresh grapes and go in there. And 1/8 cup, and I figure in a serving you're going to have about 1/8 of a cup of grapes in a serving. So 1/8 cup equals 1 point. I'm going to put, I meant to grab pecans. Hold on just a second. Let me switch this out. Okay, the walnuts are actually lower, but I still like pecans better. So 1 tablespoon of pecans are 2 bites or 2 points. And then this is the mayo that I'll be using. It's the olive oil mayo. And 1 tablespoon of mayo is 2 bites. I'm just going to count it as a tablespoon. Do I think I'm going to eat a tablespoon of mayonnaise? No. But I'm just adding that in to keep track of my bites. And apples are 0. So I'm going to go ahead and start cutting up some meat and get it going in the pan and chop up some onions and add that in and get this stir fry going. Okay guys, I have the onions browned up and I just cut the chicken breast into cubes and seasoned them with a little bit of salt and pepper and have them added to the pan. And as soon as the chicken is cooked about 3/4 of the way, then I'm going to just go ahead and add my frozen veggies and my sauce and let it finish cooking. And what I decided to do is I looked at the serving suggestion and it says 3/4 of a cup is what they suggest. So I'm going to measure out 3/4 of a cup and that is what I'm going to add to the pan. Okay guys, here is dinner and it came up to 15 points. Now, again, I think I was extremely generous with the points. I don't think that there's this many points on the plate, but like I said, I'd rather overscore than underscore. There is 1/2 cup of rice under here. I do not think there's 4 ounces of chicken. I do not think there's, what was it, like 2 tablespoons of sauce. So I think the points are actually much, much lower. But like I said, I'm not doing anything special tonight. These are meals that I had planned for the family, and I'm not trying to keep the points super low. So I know a lot of people have a much lower point dinners, but that's not the point of this video. This is what I cook for my family. I'm not trying to do anything special. I'd created the meal plan before I ever even thought about doing it. So on just a regular normal dinner, this is what it would be if you were tracking your Weight Watcher points. So 15 points. I'm gonna go have dinner. Chris already has his. I'm gonna make Jaden's plate for later tonight when he comes in. Just got off the phone with my daughter. Crazy child is out running stadiums at college. Can't even imagine. I'd die. So, all right, I have all of my scraps here. Those are gonna go in my freezer bags for stock, and I will link that either up here or down below on how I save up all of my scraps to make stock. But I'm gonna go enjoy my dinner and relax for a few minutes. All right, guys, hope you're having a great Tuesday night.
Hey guys, it is Wednesday, about 12:45 or so. I am on my lunch break and I am taking out ground beef from the freezer to go ahead and get it defrosted because tonight is going to be Salisbury steak. So I haven't made this in a really, really long time, and when I was painting this past weekend, I had a bunch of Kimmy from She's in Her Apron, her videos just on play. It was just one after another while I was painting the bedroom, and she did a Salisbury steak freezer meal, and I thought, Salisbury steak, yeah, that would be really good. So that's why it's on our menu plan this week. And like I said, I planned out this menu before I decided to do the video. So again, this is something that I would just make for the family that they would enjoy. And I think I'm going to make the whole package and maybe put some in the freezer. I might do a half a tray so that I can do a freezer meal also. It'll just depend on how it is once I get all the patties formed out and how much I have. And I was going to do this with potatoes, but I still have a bunch of rice left because on Monday I did a big batch of rice. I did 2 cups of dry rice, which we don't eat that much rice. So when I make something like that, I'll make a big pot of it and then just spread it throughout the week. So we're gonna have Salisbury steak over rice tonight. And I think I'm gonna do English pea salad. Remember those eggs I boiled at the beginning of the week? So I have all those eggs boiled, and English pea salad is one of Jaden's all-time favorite side dishes to make. So I'll be making that, and I will link the video either up in the card or down below. It just depends on how many videos I have linked so far. So, but it'll be there if you've never heard of English pea salad. It's a southern thing, and we love it. So Salisbury steak over rice, English pea salad, and then I have to look at my meal plan. I didn't put side dishes on my meal plan, so I think I was going to do beets, sweet and tangy beets. So I'll probably end up doing that. But I'm just going to get a few things done on my lunch, go do a little laundry, and then get back to work. So that is the plan for the moment, and I'll take you along with me as I make the Salisbury steak tonight. I'm probably not going to do exactly Kimmy's recipe because I just want to jazz it up just a little bit more. So I'll just kind of be doing my own thing for the recipe. But I'm going to follow a basic Salisbury steak plan. All right, guys, I got to get going and get back to work. Okay, guys, it is almost 7 o'clock. I just got in from work a little while ago, and I'm working on dinner. Like I said earlier, I am making Salisbury steak. This is just one that I had printed off. I'm not going to follow this exactly, but it is mainly the basic ingredients that go in it. I have salt, garlic, onion, Worcestershire. 1 teaspoon of Worcestershire is 0. 1 tablespoon, I believe, is 1. But I won't be having an entire tablespoon of Worcestershire, so I'm counting it as 0. 1 tablespoon of breadcrumbs is 1. I seriously doubt there's going to be an entire tablespoon in my portion, but that is what I'm counting. I'm counting it as 1. The flour, same thing. 1 tablespoon, I believe, is 1, but 1 teaspoon is 0. I might have 1 teaspoon of flour in my portion.
And the butter, I'm going to go ahead and count a teaspoon of butter. I doubt that I'm going to have an entire teaspoon, but I'm going to count it anyway. So 1 teaspoon of butter is 2 points. And I'm using Better Than Bouillon, and it is 0. I have onions and I have mushrooms. Both of these are 0. The beef is the only high point item. 4 ounces of raw beef is 9 points. So I went ahead and counted 4 ounces for my portion. I don't know exactly how much the portions are going to be, but I don't foresee myself having more than 4 ounces of raw burger for my pork part. So I went ahead and counted 9 points. So I'm going to go ahead and get these mixed up and cooking away. Okay guys, let me go over the list of the other items that I'm adding to dinner. I just pulled a can of home canned corn, Fiesta corn, that I had made last summer, I believe, out of the pantry and warmed it up. So a 1/4 cup of the corn is 1 point. Again, we're using the rice that I made at the beginning of the week. 1/2 cup is 3. My homemade applesauce is cinnamon applesauce, no sugar, and that is 0. The peas, I made some English pea salad. 1/2 cup is 1 point. The egg in that salad, I know that on some of the Weight Watcher plans, egg doesn't count. I go ahead and count eggs on mine, so I figure there'll be about half of a hard-boiled egg in my serving, so that's a point. And the mayonnaise that I'm using is, I figure there's maybe a teaspoon in the portion that I will be having, and that is 1 point. So there's the applesauce, and there is the Fiesta corn. I have the rice in the microwave, and that is the Salisbury steak all cooked up. I do have a freezer container right here that whatever is left, I will put it in the freezer container with the gravy, and that will go in the freezer for another dinner. Okay guys, here is my dinner tonight. I'm not really feeling corn. I put this on my plate just because I said that I was going to count the points, but honestly, I had a pretty big lunch and I'm not super hungry, so I kind of have a feeling I'm not even going to eat all this. But this is what a regular meal looks like, and it is an 18-point dinner, which I know people are freaking out when they hear 18 points. But like I said, real family dinner. This is not being catered to Weight Watchers, and I was probably overly generous with points in the amounts. So this is it. This is dinner. We're going to go enjoy our Salisbury steak, and then the rest is going to go into the freezer. So, and Jane will be super happy because English peas and applesauce and rice, 3 of his favorite things right there. All right, guys. Hope you're having a great Wednesday night. Okay, guys. It is Thursday afternoon. I'm on my lunch break right now. I just have a few minutes more of my lunch break. And I am laying meat out to go ahead and start defrosting for me to cook after dinner. So I have just some ground pork laid out here. This is really cheap brand, but it was on sale a while back, so I had picked up a few of these. So I'm using up this. I'm going to make some pumpkin sausage soup. Have no idea what the points are going to be on that. I'm going to have to sit down and try and figure that out, because there does have either half and half or heavy whipping cream in it. I think I'll be using the low carb milk in place of the heavy whipping cream. It won't be as rich and creamy, but I'm just going to run the points both ways. I've done it with the low carb milk. I've done it with heavy whipping cream. I've done it with almond milk, coconut milk. I just know that the guys don't like it with the almond and coconut milk as much. They prefer it with either regular milk, the hood milk. So that's what I'm going to be making it with. So I just have to figure out the points on that. And I'm pretty sure the pumpkin, this is just pure pumpkin. I'm pretty sure this is 0, but I still have to scan it, look it up, and make sure. And then I'm going to be making a salad. And then I'm just pulled a couple of these boneless pork steaks out. I'm just going to cook these up, pan cook them, and just season them and pan cook them. So I am okay with just having like soup and salad for dinner, but the guys, they want something more, something heartier than that. So we'll have pumpkin sausage soup, pork chops, and a salad. If I have time, maybe I'll make some blueberry muffins or something along those lines. I'm not really sure. It just depends on time after work today. So, all right, guys, I'm going to get back to work, and I'm going to throw another load in the laundry and go make our bed. I try and do that on my lunch break. each day, and then I have to get back to the office. Hey guys, it is Thursday night and I'm starting on dinner right now. I have all the ingredients for the pumpkin sausage soup right here. Italian seasoning is 0, garlic is 0, onions are 0. This is homemade turkey stock, it is 0. Pumpkin, I figure we're gonna have, each serving would contain about 1/8 of a cup of pumpkin, that is 0. Mushrooms are 0. The sausage is going to be crumbled up and cooked throughout. I think if you were to scoop all the sausage in your bowl together, you might have a 1/2 ounce of sausage. That is 2 bites. And then in the whole big pot of soup, there's only going to be a 1/2 cup of milk. So I figure your portion might be a tablespoon. So that is 0. So this is going to be a very low point soup. And then the meat over here, 3 ounces is 2 points. And I haven't pulled what I'm making for side dish yet, so I will show you points for that when I get it all together. But I'm going to go ahead and start putting the soup together first because that takes the longest. I will put a link up in the corner on how I originally make it. It's wonderful. Even if your kids don't think they like pumpkin, try it and don't tell them there's pumpkin in it. Trust me, they will eat it. Okay guys, here is dinner all together. I actually upped how much pork chop I had on my plate and how much pork I had in here. After I dished it up, yes, there's a lot of fat that's gonna get cut off of this and not eaten, but just to be on the safe side, I boosted the number of ounces up. Same with this, I had a 1/2 ounce of ground pork in this and I scooped it up, I raised it up to 1 ounce. So this is a pork steak. And I think I put this in as 4 ounces because all of this on the edge is all fat. All that's going to get cut off. There's just little bits here and there in the middle. That is actual real good meat. And then the soup, most of that is mushrooms, the big chunks you see in there, but there is some good chunks of the ground pork in there also. If you want to keep it even lower, you can do the turkey pork, and it's really good in here also. And then I just have some fruit salad. I took 1 banana, 1 apple, handful of grapes, Japanese plums, and 1 of each, and just cut them up and split them up between a few bowls. So I counted this as 1 fruit portion because it was essentially 1/3 of each of the fruit. So 8 points, not bad considering how high the other ones are. Like I said, I have not figured out the points on anything. Tomorrow night is going to be I believe it's going to be a fried fish meal. So we'll see how that one is. It's Lent, so I'm going to do fish tomorrow night, and we'll experiment with that one together. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and go get to dinner, and I'll talk to you later. Hey, guys, it is Friday. I'm on my lunch break right now, and so I thought I would go ahead and pull some stuff out of the freezer to defrost for dinner. I really didn't know what I was going to find when I opened this because this was from a customer. They sent it to us. It was wrapped up in this. And so I was like, okay, let's find out what we have in here. I believe this is snapper. I think that's what Chris said they sent us was snapper. And I'm looking at it and it looks like it's filleted. I don't see bones, but it's going to have to defrost and me pry it apart to really be able to tell. If you can't tell, I do not cook fish. It's just not part of my regular, normal repertoire of cooking. So I've never been a huge fish person. It's only been in the last 13 years or so that I have started to eat fish since Chris and I have been together. So he introduced me to fresh fish and what a difference that fresh fish makes. So I've actually started eating some fish. So I'm going to try this tonight and see what I can do. I can count on one hand the number of times I have made seafood other than scallops. I've done scallops a lot because we go scalloping every year. And I'll link the videos for some of those up in the corner of some of our scallop trips. So much fun to do with your kids. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually going to put this in the fridge to let it defrost out in the fridge, I believe. I went ahead and put pulled corn from the freezer. This had a bunch of ice in the bag, so I went ahead and rinsed it, and I'm just letting it sit up and defrost. It's still in the husk, so it's fine. It's not going to be freezer burned or anything like that. So I know I'm going to do fish. I know I'm going to do corn on the cob. I think I'm going to do a salad. And I'm not sure what else I'm going to do with dinner tonight, honestly. I know that's where I'm at right now. Yeah, because I didn't have it planned out on my meal plan because I forgot that I was going to be doing Lent and Friday. So I had leftovers written on the calendar for dinner tonight. So here is the fish. It is defrosting, and I have gone online, looked at a couple of options for recipes, and I'm just going to kind of take some suggestions from different recipes and create my own. All right, I better get back to work. Hey guys, I figured while I had the time, I had a few minutes before I needed to head back to the office, so I went ahead and just scanned these and tried to go ahead and figure up the points on some of them. 3 tablespoons of Hush Puppy mix are 3 points. So I'm going to figure it being a point a Hush Puppy, because I usually do Hush Puppies, I guess, about a tablespoon each, or that's what I'm going to try and do, is 1 tablespoon Hush Puppies. So that is what I'm going to figure here. And it said prepared, so I'm going to take it as 1 tablespoon of the mix already made up. 3 tablespoons, 3 points. This house Autry, I was actually going to make up a seasoning on the outside of the fish, but this is something my mom sent me. I'm sure it is old, but it is not opened. I think it is still perfectly fine to use. It was in my convenience food bin that I have in my pantry, and I decided, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and use this up because it's something that needs to be used. And it says 1/2 tablespoon equals 1 bite. So I'm going to see about how big a piece I have. I'm probably going to put this as like 3 tablespoons for my piece of fish, most likely. I'm sorry, 1.5 tablespoons is 1 bite. So I'm probably going to double this so that it's 3 tablespoons total for 2 bites for my piece of fish. 1 ear of corn equals 4 points. So I have my corn here defrosting. And then my fish here, when I looked up snapper, it says a 3-ounce portion of raw snapper is 1 point. So this is the meal plan for my night. It's going to be the battered fish, Hush Puppies, corn on the cob, and a salad. I still have applesauce, unsweetened applesauce in the fridge. I think I have a pint of that is about half full that I probably need to use up. So I'll pull that. And then I need to figure out making some tartar sauce for Chris. I do not believe I have any, and that's not something I like. I would just rather put vinegar on my fish, or honestly ketchup. So like I said, I am not a connoisseur of fish, but Chris loves tartar sauce. So I probably will look up a recipe when I get back to work for making him some homemade tartar sauce, unless I have some. I'm going to double check my condiment shelves and my pantry just to make sure before I make it. But if I remember correctly, it's really simple to make. So I'll probably just end up making him a small container of tartar sauce, and I won't do the points for that because I don't touch it. Or I could probably do the points for it and just say how much it would be if you wanted it. But all right, now I really do have to get back to work. Guys, this is dinner. Sorry, it's not very pretty, but it is 9:35 at night, and I am just getting dinner done. This is only half an ear of corn. I just didn't really feel like eating a whole ear, so I cut the ears in half whenever I cooked them, so I just cut off 1. This is 1 chunk of fish. I did tablespoons of batter whenever I cooked them, so this is 1 tablespoon each. And then I'm going to put a 0-point dressing on here. So I believe, what did I say, 14 points? This is a 14-point dinner. Hey guys, it is Sunday night, and honestly it is like 9:45. It's almost 10 o'clock at night, and Chris and I are just getting something to eat for dinner. I'm just making sausage, egg, and cheese sandwiches. I have his on sourdough, but I am doing this one. This is the bread I have been eating. If I were to use his bread, it's 7 points. This bread is 2 points for 2 slices. The cheese is 1 slice is 2 points. An egg, 1 egg is 2 points, and then the sausage patty, 1 patty is 7 points. I'll put it all together and show you what we have. Actually, I changed the bread on mine. I'm doing an English muffin. One of these is 3 points. I just think the egg and the sausage fits on it better, so this is what I'm having on mine. Okay guys, this is dinner. It is a high count because of the sausage and the eggs. This is a 17-point dinner, but it's 10 o'clock at night and I'm tired. So this is what we're having for dinner. If I'd have dropped the sausage, I think that was 7 points, and I want to say the cheese was 2, and actually I had an extra egg left over, so there are 2 eggs on my sandwich. The strawberries are 0, the grapes are 0. I hope you guys enjoyed this video series. I may do more in the future like this. I don't plan meals specific to my diet. I plan meals that make my entire family happy, and then I adjust my diet accordingly. Not to say that I won't make special things just for me, especially desserts and things like that that I can enjoy, or oatmeals or granola bars or something along those lines. But this week was just all about regular family cooking, and this is what we had planned for the week, and this is what my points would have been on Weight Watchers for the week. No adjustment, no changes, no alterations. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any comments, please leave them down below, and don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Have a great evening.